I wish that I could tell you I was one of these entrepreneurs that discovered SMMA or dropshipping back in 2017, and that's what I've been doing since. But for me, it's been very, very different. I had to start doing very gritty hustles. I didn't have an idea of how to make money online, and I had no skills. But the one thing that I did have is work ethic. Let me just take you back to when I first started trying to make money for myself. I was going through school, I was like 12, 13, I had two jobs. One was I used to fix bikes for this old man when I was very young. I used to get paid like £5 for 4 hours. Pretty bad deal, I know, but I was probably like 9 years old at the time. Anyway, when I started working when I was older, I worked for my dad on the markets and I worked for a call center just doing some admin work. And that was at like 13, 14 years old. Then when I started being a full-blown entrepreneur, I used to do the market stalls. I used to do all the gritty hustles. I used to pick up scrap metal. I used to sell anything I can get my hands on. No online income at this point. I sold little bits on eBay here and there, but I had to do the real gritty, get your hands dirty type stuff. And look, guys, this is sometimes the best stuff to do because it teaches you how hard life can be and it teaches you how to actually start from ground zero. And I remember back when I was doing the markets and I'd stand there all day in my fingerless gloves in the freezing cold, not really wanting to do the job. And I used to watch other people my age experiencing life, going shopping, out with the friends on a weekend and all these type of things. And I used to be stood behind the market stall and I knew that, yeah, I'm doing this for the long run. I'm doing this to make money, and this is the sacrifice you've got to make. And the only thing that dragged me through this is my work ethic. Now, I'm going to teach you in this video how you can build your work ethic. Just imagine yourself getting to the point where your work ethic is just unstoppable. Any loss or challenge that you get, it just doesn't make a difference to you because you are so focused and your work ethic is so strong. Just think about how you will be dealing with problems once you get to that. I've had to go through some real bad situations, like I'm sure you have as well, and it can beat you at times, it can really get you down, but the thing that's going to get you back up is building your work ethic. So we've got step number one, you've got to build your why. Guys, I want you to try and think the reason why you're doing what you're doing. Now, this is applied to anything in your life, any business, any job that you're starting, anything that you're trying to do that's difficult, this can be applied to it. But when you focus on your why, you're building the reason, building the fire, and building the desire. So how do you focus on your why? Well, who are you doing it for? What situation are your family in? Are you annoyed about being broke? Maybe you're starting the gym and you're annoyed about being weak. Maybe you quit all the time. Do you not really know what the reason is that you're doing it for? Just really sit down and think. Think about who's disrespected you. Think about the character you want to be. Think about whose lives you want to change around you. Think about how you want people to talk to you. And when you get crystal clear of this, crystal clear of the reasons why you're doing it, crystal clear of the place that you're trying to go, it's going to be able to get you through anything. I remember my first business. In the space of 12 months, I got robbed. I had a natural disaster. There were a flood through my office. It destroyed like 20, 30 grand's worth of stock. I've had advertising accounts banned just before Christmas, which is the busiest period of the year, losing tens of thousands of pounds, almost put me out of business. Multiple massive life-changing events, but I always was able to rely on my work ethic because I had my why in mind. The bigger that your why is, the easier it's going to be to get through all the problems. That's where the work ethic comes from. It's just your ethic and your attitude towards work. When your why is absolutely huge and it affects people around you and you're emotionally invested, you can be that guy that changes it for people around you and changes your situation yourself. You really can. I had to go from selling 50p. I used to do this market stall, right? And because I was starting from absolute zero, I had to be that resourceful. I would go do the market stall all day. And because I had all the coins, I used to go home and put the coins on eBay because that to me was free money. And I'd sell a 50p for like £2, £5. And look, guys, this isn't a smart way to do it, yeah? If you're 16 years old, with your first business, I'm not saying do this, but when you're flat broke, you've got to do some shit. That's the truth. So focus on your why. The thing is, the whole time, I knew what my why was. I was crystal clear on what my why was. So every time I was doing some bullshit hustle, some hard work that I didn't want to do, somewhere I didn't want to be, a long day, a long week, working weekends, I was focused on my why. I had my why in mind. And because my why was so big, in comparison to all the things I was dealing with on a daily basis, you're going to steamroll through all the problems. And this is where you're going to be dealing with the problems easily. So focus on your why, build your why, think about it and think about it all the time and really get crystal clear on what that why is. Exact detail. And once you do that, you're going to start seeing the path open up for you. You're going to be able to reverse engineer it and see the steps more clearly. Now, number 2, it's not that hard. Now, when I say it's not that hard, I'm not trying to belittle you. I'm not trying to talk in a condescending way. But just think about what your grandparent, like your great-granddad was in a world war, mate. So the stuff that you're complaining about, it's probably not that hard. Now, I get it. Look, you've only dealt with problems in the last 20 years or however old you are. But in reality, to how most people are living and how your grandparents lived, it's not that hard. The opportunity that we've got now is unbelievable. Your use of social media and watching other people and not being able to deal with challenges because you've been in a soft environment, it's going to feel hard. But just have the perspective of other people in your family and what they've dealt with and what other people in different parts of the world are dealing with right now. And look, guys, if you tell yourself it's hard, it's going to be hard. If you tell yourself it's easy, it's going to be easy. And if you're looking at all your stuff that you're doing and you're trying to do hard stuff all the time, hard just becomes the new normal for you, and then you can operate at a different level. If everything you do is hard, then everything is easy, right? So just understand, it's not that hard. And I'm not trying to talk condescending. I'm just trying to put some perspective. Think about where your family's been. Think about where your family have been through. And think about people's lives before you. And when you put it into perspective like that, your problems don't seem that too big. Now, number 3 is monitor progress. Work ethic is great and it can last a long time. But if you do not monitor progress and you don't realize how far that you've come or what achievements that you've made, it's gonna take a toll on your work ethic. Because if you can't see the fruits of your labor and you can't see the things that you've done, then it's gonna ruin your work ethic. Now, what I used to do is just try work all the time, didn't monitor progress, I didn't reward myself for any work whatsoever, and I used to just hustle and live like shit to save money. Well, that's not living. That's going to destroy your work ethic, because the work ethic is working towards your why. Now, you're going to have multiple levels of your why along the way. You can celebrate, you can mark where you've won, you can have a look at what you've achieved, but monitor your progress, because when you see that you're making progress, that's going to give you more fuel. You're going to feel like you're getting there. You're going to feel like you're working towards your goal. You're going to feel like you're achieving targets. And that is just going to build the fire even more. Just think, if you have this massive goal and you've got 25% closer, you can taste it now. You can taste it on the tip of your tongue. You can feel it. And that's what you want to work towards. So monitor your progress. Guys, look, work on these. Sit down, write them down, get a pen and paper, turn the phone off, put your phone in a different room. Focus on these, and when you get crystal clear about all these and you start working on it and thinking like this, your work ethic is going to go through the roof, and you are going to be able to handle any challenge that gets put in front of you. Right, guys, subscribe to the channel. My mission is to help 1,000 men level up and turn their problems into profit. So if you like the sound of that, click the subscribe button down below and watch the next video that's coming up right about here. Till next time, let's get it.